drink and a stick.
All right. We'll call this meeting to order. Ms. Evans, roll call vote, please.
Okay. Councilmember Jeremiah Barron.
Here.
Councilmember Denise Rogers.
Here.
Councilmember Terry Nolan.
Here.
Councilmember Mark McBrady's absent. Councilmember Amy Lance. Here. Vice Mayor Barry Thomas.
Here.
And Mayor Hughes.
Here.
So we have a quorum with 6.
Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. All right, you may be seated. Item 5, special meeting. Item A, vote to recess in the executive session to interview Daniel Fields for permanent town manager position in person or consider a second interview with Daniel Fields. At this time, Daniel Fields wanted to request that he have his interview in an open meeting. It's still up to the council to either go into executive session or have the meeting in open still. So either take a motion or we proceed.
I'll make a motion to stay in open session.
Okay?
I make a motion to go into executive session.
There's a motion to stay in an open session and a seconded by Mr. Barnes to stay. No second on Mr. Thomas's motion. So the meeting will stay in open session. So for item A.
I want a roll call vote.
Whoa. You've got to still vote on the one that was seconded.
Yes. So roll call vote.
Councilmember Barron. Barron?
Yes.
Sorry. Councilmember Rogers.
I agree that we stay open. Is that the right answer? Is that the way to respond? I agree or I don't agree? I agree. Stay open.
Councilmember Nolan.
No.
Councilmember McBrady's absent. Councilmember Lance.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry Thomas.
Hold on.
Mayor Hughes.
Hold on. You made the motion to stay in open session?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just clarifying. All right.
And Mayor Hughes.
No.
All right, so that's 3-3.
Okay.
So we would go into executive.
Okay, so,
There's a no.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
we have that motion fails if it's 3-3. But I got to talk to you guys in exec session to give some legal advice about where to go. So, there's a general provision on the agenda, just like there always is. It's the last part of the first paragraph that allows you to go into executive session to receive legal advice. It would not be about the interview. It would be about what you can choose or not when the subject of the exec session says we want it in open session.
I didn't understand that. Can you repeat it?
The sound in this place sucks.
The sound, we're not getting anything you're saying.
Okay, hang on. Okay, so whether you can continue with a interview in executive session, you need some legal advice because you're not understanding what you can do. If you want to have have the legal advice about that issue in closed session. You need to make the motion, and it's allowed on the agenda under the general legal advice provision that's in the first section of information on the agenda. I can give you legal advice in open session if that's what you want to, but you're a little confused on what can be done at this point.
All right. So what Kay's saying is we can vote to go into executive session to listen to her advice on item A and then come back out of executive session and decide on item A. But I think it was already decided. Now B's at a different time. So the choice is the council's to either go into executive session to get legal advice or move on to item A, which we already voted on, and it is to go into executive session for the interview.
You have to vote to go into executive session, correct?
Yes.
He also said you could get the information open.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I ask the town attorney a question?
Yes.
Please? Well, actually more of a statement. Mrs. Bigelow, this is Dan Field. Do you have before you the Arizona Attorney General's handbook? If I can have you take a look at...
Mr. Fields,
Yes.
do not give legal advice to my client.
Oh, no, I'm not giving legal advice to your client.
You're going to tell me what you think they should do.
No, I'm not going to go into it. I was just going to tell you, just give you a section to look at.
No, I'm not going to look at a session at the guide at this point. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what is allowed under the law. It's whether my client wants to hear what's going on or not.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Okay.
So, Kay, in the best interest of the town, your legal advice, executive session or open session?
Right. That's
I'm
the choice
asking our attorney
at this point.
what our legal advice is. I'm asking.
Okay. The choice is, because the subject of the executive session has chosen to have it in public, the choice is either to hold it in public or not do the interview. It is not that it goes into executive session,
Okay.
because you've got to get a vote to go in executive session.
Okay.
So at this point, Mr. Fields has asked that it be in open session. Your only other choice is to not do the interview.
Okay? The question is, what is your legal
No,
advice?
she answered
No,
it.
she's given us two options. What is your advice?
No, she
Well,
already answered.
obviously, if you want to treat Mr. Fields as you've treated everybody else, you want him to agree to have it done in executive session. But he's made the choice to have it done in public. You cannot override him on that and go into executive session.
But can I...
So it's either do the interview.
Miss
I'm
Bigelow,
sorry, I didn't hear the last
Miss
part.
Bigelow, he wants to waive his right. He wants to go into executive session to have the interview.
Yes,
do that.
you'd have to do that to go into executive session.
Okay.
All right. So at this time, Mr. Fields is waiving his right to open meeting and going into executive session. So with the motion that was made before and roll call vote proven, at this time, we are going into executive session. We already did it.
Yeah, it needs to be seconded and voted.
Well, no, you voted not to go into executive session.
Are we?
Now waiting.
No.
Got a vote?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I restate my motion to go into executive session.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right, motion made by Mr. Thomas to go into executive session, seconded by Mr. Nolan. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Barone. Or Barron.
No.
No, sorry. Councilmember Rogers.
Well, if the, interviewee wants to go into executive session, I have to agree with that.
Councilmember Nolan.
Me? Oh,
No, I got next to you.
to go into executive, yeah.
Councilmember McBrady's absent. Councilmember Lance.
Against my will, yes.
Vice Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Mayor Hughes.
Yes.
So that passed.
All right.
We're gonna go into executive session. Everyone's gonna have to leave.
Sorry, folks.
We don't